How do people really succeed in land banking? We hear all the time that many billionaires created a lot of wealth through land banking. Yet, the big question here is why do many people fail at land banking? Now, if you're one who loves to create wealth and will love to create wealth through land banking, I encourage you to stay with me on this video because I'm going to point out a few things you must do or you must know before you venture into land banking so that of course you succeed, which is why you're here. Stay with me. Land banking is the process or the act of investing or acquiring landed properties for the purpose of reaping and making huge return on investment in future. And in this case, future being from 3 years and above. So you must be patient to reap from land banking. Now, the fact that everybody is encouraged to do land banking does not in any way mean you should buy just any land that you come across. There are two reasons for actually acquiring this land and banking it. One would be to resell the land in future when it has increased or appreciated in value. The second one could be that you have a big project you're anticipating to start up or maybe to build a factory in future and you go to a developing area to buy this plot of land to keep it for when you are ready to start construction of that factory. And what this will do for you is that in future, when you start this project, the cost of land at that time will be so high that investing years back would have helped you to reduce your startup capital. Now, in this video, I'm going to point at 4 things you need to know before you start banking to create wealth. Number one thing you need to know, try as much as possible to buy at least 2 plots. Do not settle for 1 plot. In the future, in years to come, when this land would have appreciated as you expect, you will regret not buying more than 1 plot. So if you're buying 1 plot in land banking, let the sole reason be that you cannot afford a second plot. If you can afford multiple plots, please be smart enough to invest in multiple plots because in future you might choose to develop some plots of that land, you sell some and use the proceeds to develop the other one. The second thing you must know is you have to be very patient to allow this land to mature, to allow this land to yield you good fruits for minimum of 3 years, 3 years and above. The reason is because if you buy this land and sell it off in less than 3 years, you're going to reap just very little. And in some cases, in some developing areas, 3 years is not enough for you to have a good resale value. 3 years may not even be enough for you to have someone to buy it off from you. So you might have to wait for up to 5 years. So the real estate investors are very patient. Now, the third thing you need to do is when you are ready to resell, try not to resell all of it. You sell half of it, take the proceed, look for another developing area, another prime area where infrastructural movement is on, where government is headed. Invest the proceed for half of your investment. Now, the first thing you need to know before venturing into land banking is that you need to use your evidence. When you have bought and you have sold half of it, you have evidence of this transaction. You can use it to attract more people around you. So what this means is that if you live in the US, for instance, and you have invested, you have done land banking, you have received your proceeds, you now have an experience with it. With your evidence of transaction, you can talk to people around you, friends and family, get them to get involved because now you have evidence of how good, how profitable this transaction is. And you can make some percentage from either your realtor or the owner of the land or the developer. By so doing, you're also making more money and investing it in more of land banking. The last thing, which is the most important you need to know about land banking, is that you need a mentor to guide you. In the beginning, I mentioned that land banking does not translate to buying cheap land in the forest. It does not translate to buying land without title. That is why you need a mentor. Buying land from families is tricky, especially in Lagos. Not everybody understands how to navigate family transactions. So I always recommend that for land banking, buy from companies, buy from reliable companies, do your due diligence, find out about these companies, buy from them because the companies would have taken their time because they're experienced, they would have taken their time to do all the due diligence involved in that property, gotten the document for you because you need properties that have security. In today's Lagos, you are not encouraged, you're not advised to get involved in any landed property without security, without good title. If you decide to buy from family, make sure you have your mentor, your lawyer, people who understand how this transaction works. Otherwise, you might end up in litigation. You might end up purchasing this land from family members who will swindle you and sell the same plot of land or the same piece of land to several people because you need someone to protect your land. You do not invest in this land and leave them unattended. No, you might experience problems from land grabbers. Now, with all this being said, I hope you take these steps to make sure that your purpose for venturing into this is achieved. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. Stay with me until I bring you the next one.